So welcome everybody to our Monday night team vaccination associate in the spotlight, which is Cathy Gage, who is our second associate in the spotlight. Our first one was, as everybody I'm sure knows, the amazing Kevin Duguay, but we have an equally amazing lady on tonight with us by the name of Cathy Gage. Now, Cathy Gage, I'll tell you, has been with us. I think your join date, Cathy, was I think it was like June 28th. The company was launched on the 16th of June. And I think you joined right around the 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th, somewhere in that area. And Cathy has been with us. Cathy's from the East Coast and is originally from or lived in the Halifax area, but she's I believe in Bedford now. Is that right, Kath? And Cathy has been basically with this company from the very beginning. She has built an amazing team. She's a phenomenal leader, and like all of us, has felt like this is an important enough product, important enough technology to stay with it, to continue to share. We've had our ups and downs, all of us as a team. We've had ups and downs in our lives during the process of the last 5+ years, but we're all here. And Cathy, I believe, is the epitome of perseverance. Cathy in the beginning did a ton of shows at the beginning, and I can remember one in particular, way in the early days, Cathy, in downtown Toronto, that you were here with your son, I believe, at that particular time. And the nice thing about Cathy is she is sort of responsible for getting the whole East Coast of Eastern Canada going. And Cathy is an RVP, Regional Vice President, and has built an amazing team and is just a wonderful leader. And I'm excited to have her as our associate in the spotlight. And so please, let's welcome Cathy. Everybody show a little clap of hands here. Great to have you here. So welcome, Cathy. Good to have you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Terry. I really appreciate it. And it's nice to be on here and be able to talk to everyone. And I'm really, really happy with, just becoming regional VP. And, like never in a million years did I think that this was possible. And when I first started, and I can tell you that I was not a true multi-level marketing guru that did this for years and years and years. I kind of went in and out of different companies and never really done anything with any of them. But when I got into Vox Life, I was in. And
well, it's funny, awesome. Cathy, I can remember, it's kind of ironic. I remember looking back, and you and I were kidding about it the other day when we were chatting on the phone and talking. Cathy just got back from an amazing 2-week cruise that was part of a Vox Life award. And she just sounded so amazing. You know how we all sometimes need that break just to get away. And it was great to hear that you had a wonderful time. But we were speaking about looking back and saying, man, it doesn't really seem that long ago, that 2016, because we did a little event in Barrie at, I think it was the Golden Griddle restaurant, where I think there was like maybe 10 or 12 people there, and we were voxing people and whatever. And it was it almost seems archaic when you look back at it, but sort of that was, sort of the beginning of, what we have today, and we've come so far. And for those of you that, are relatively new, it's hard to even perceive what we did way back when in the beginning. And so let's maybe look back at the beginning, Cathy, and say, how did you come to know about Vox, and what was it about Vox that was intriguing, both in maybe a personal experience you had, but was intriguing about the technology that made you decide that I'm going to jump into this and take a look at it?
Okay. Well, basically, I was looking for something because I was working at a male prison and I wanted to get out of there, obviously. And I wanted something that I could work from home because at the time, my partner was retired and wanting to vacation in Florida for the winter. And so I wanted to be able to do that as well. So I wanted to work from home. So I started looking around and I actually was just in the process of opening up a little spa in my house. I found out about the Bioptron light that Sylvia Passfield was selling and training on, and I decided to purchase one of those lights and take the training courses. And so I went to Toronto to take the light therapy course, and I happened to hear her talking about these amazing socks that were coming. And so I was like, oh, what's this all about? And she said, well, it's not out yet. And so anyway, I went home and I started searching and researching and I found it. And it's funny because I called Vox and to get some information. And it's funny because when they answered the phone, they said, hello. And I'm like, hello, is this Vox Life? Yes. And I was like, oh, wow, maybe this isn't where I want to be. So anyway, it was funny because they were just new at it as well. And so anyway, I got some information and then I called back the second time and I still got a hello. And so anyway,
Funny.
at that point, they told me that there was going to be an opportunity meeting in Toronto. And I had just got back from on the weekend from the light therapy course. And they told me it was happening on Thursday night. I'm thinking, oh my God, I just got back from Toronto. I was like, I don't care. I have a feeling that I need to be there. And so hopped in the car and drove back to Toronto, 18 hours. And met Jay and Dayan at the time and went into the meeting and signed up that night and never looked back. Absolutely amazing.
I mean, that's an amazing story because let's face it, even Jay will be the first one to admit, and Dan, that they are not network marketers, didn't know the first thing about it. And so it was kind of like all of us were blind going into this, knowing that we had this phenomenal product that, and I remember that meeting too, because everybody got a free pair of socks that came to the meeting and we were tipping each other over and doing the thing. And I remember because my mom was there when she was still alive. So from that perspective, where it was such a small meeting to where we are today is quite a feat as far as I'm concerned. So when you joined Cathy and you signed up as an associate based on our comp plan and based on, our back office, which was quite archaic at the time. What was it about the product that intrigued you? I mean, yes, it's a company you were first in, but what was it about the product itself or the technology itself that intrigued you?
Well, I just listening to the testimonials at that meeting that night was like, wow. And I had been in a bad car accident and I had major back issues and neck issues and my back would go out 2-3 times a year and I'd be down for 3, 4, or 5 days. And it was just, I was like, I just need some help with this. And and I had sciatica so bad I could barely walk. And I was listening to all of these testimonials and I'm like, you know what? It's worth a try. So we did get a free pair of socks and I put them on and I instantly felt like there was a change, but I wasn't sure how or why, but I just knew there was a change and I felt better. And so anyway, I'm like, okay, I'm in. I don't care. I'm in. So I signed up.
Good for you.
And I will say.
So personal experience was important. Personal experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I will say I'm glad because in the 5 years or over 5 years now that I've been with Vox Life, my back has not gone out once in 5 years.
Wow.
And and my sciatica does not bother me at all. So am I in the right company? Absolutely.
Yeah. And I'm sure, obviously with the personal experience and the your body's ability to function at a better level, at an optimum level, is giving you a quality of life maybe that you didn't think 5 and a bit years ago was even possible. So you get involved, you sign up, and did you ever go, okay, where to from here? What do I do now? Right.
Well, it was funny because that's something I never really thought of. Like I just ran with it. And it's the first company I ever really ran with. I mean, any other company, it was always like, oh, but I actually, when I signed up from Vox, it wasn't even open in Nova Scotia yet. And Jay probably doesn't want me to tell this story, but I'm going to tell you. Because we weren't even open in Nova Scotia yet. And I came home and I'm like, technically I couldn't even sign up. And I'm like, well, I got a nephew in Ontario, so I used his address. And I signed up under my nephew's address. And so I came home and I'm like, okay, it's not open in Nova Scotia. What am I going to do? And I started telling all these people about it. And well, I'm going to tell you, I said to my nephew after it was all done, I said, if you got paid for everybody that had your address and was living in your house, you'd be rich. Because I had literally 500 associates in my downline that was all signed up under his address.
Oh, isn't that funny?
Because it was like 2 or 3 months after I signed up that we even opened in Nova Scotia. Yeah. So so eventually, as soon as it signed up, we put their regular addresses in and took my nephews out of there.
Yeah. So I'm just thinking, so how did you, for the people that are on here, you talked about 500 in downline. So maybe walk us through, I mean, you started building this business. Was it word of mouth? Did you eventually start selling product through shows? Were you holding home parties? Were you putting out flyers? Maybe talk a little bit about how you originally and how you are today growing your business based on pre-pandemic and post-pandemic.
Okay. So before the pandemic, as soon as I get into Vox, I just started telling everybody. And when you've got a story that has taken you out of pain, or, then I started putting the product on my family. Like my daughter had plantar fasciitis. Well, I instantly helped her. My son has ADHD, and the socks helped him. And since the sleeve, it's gotten even better. So I started helping my family first. So I got some stories rolling, and then I just started telling everybody. And it's like everybody I talked to, I told, and then I didn't do a lot online at the time, and I did a lot of shows. Like wherever I could find a show, I went to a show. And people say I can sell snow to an Eskimo, but it's literally just standing there. And I always had a pair of insoles beside the table, and not always did the balance test, but just asked them to stand on them. And I had actually one lady stand there as the tears were rolling down her face. She's like, my knee pain is gone. So if you can show them what the product can do, they're in. And I did a lot of shows, and I traveled. It didn't matter where, like Terry said, I went to Toronto and did a show. I did opportunity meetings everywhere I could do them, and got people to come. And I was quickly getting interest in people signing up because it was a new company. It was a great product. People were getting so many benefits that they were telling people who told people who told people. And that's what happens with this product, is like everybody tells somebody. If you take somebody out of pain, they're going to yell to the rooftops that they're out of pain. So I really felt that I was gaining momentum with signing people up, because then they were excited about it and they were telling people, and then they were signing people up, and it just quickly just started going. And it's like, and just the more I told people, the more it kept coming. And really the basis of this, is you start talking about the product. Like, don't be scared that they're going to say no.
Mhm.
Like, you just have everybody that you can possibly 30-day money back here, no matter what, I always gave them good customer service. I always looked at them and said, look, I'm here. I always followed up with them. I always, and that's the key to your business, is following up. And it doesn't matter, like, even if it's like a year or two down the road, still follow up. I had somebody say to me the other day is, wow, I had a lady that bought from me 3 years ago. I just connected with her and she bought $1,000 in product. So follow up is key. And I did that. And I was always calling my customers. So that's kind of what I did prior to COVID. But since COVID, I have gone a lot online, and basically working with my team. And I'll tell you, building a team, I know some people is like, they don't know if they want to build a team or whatnot, but I'll tell you, building a team with residual income is the way to go with this company. Because here's a prime example of I have an amazing team, and it's never I. It's always we, us, they, and that's how you motivate your team. And I, like Terry said, I just went away on a 2-week cruise. Thank you to Vox, and it was phenomenal. What was even more phenomenal is that I shut my phone off, because it's like, I want a true vacation. But I shut my phone off, but I had lots of people to talk to on the cruise. So there's people with socks and there's people with patches, and there's but anyway, I got off of the cruise and I came home and I turned my phone on to find out I was 98% to regional VP. I'm like, oh my God, I wasn't even here. And my team worked it and we reached regional VP. So that's what I'm just like,
phenomenal.
Yeah, like that's like regional VP is like, that's a big,
there's only one more spot.
Exactly. That's a
Right?
big accomplishment. But the great thing about it is I can say to my team, you did this. Like, I wasn't even here. And that's where it shows that residual income and a team is where it's at. It's great to sell the product and all that stuff, but building a team is amazing.
Now, I know with the team, one of the things with our comp plan changing, that was something that, was a little scary for a lot of people. And I think that, the pros and cons of change can weigh heavy at times on a lot of people, because I just believe that a lot of times people don't understand it. So it's better to be afraid of what you think you won't have as compared to thinking about what you can have. And so I have been, trying to tell my team, don't worry about qualification, get on a smart chip. And with Jay in the company, allowing us to go to, a one pack smart chip. We need to be products of the products. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely. Yes, I do.
Yeah. And so, with Jay evolving into different products, going from socks and insoles to, knee braces to, shapewear to patches to, sort of appease our people in the southern states and southern climates. And as a leader, I think, Cathy, how have you found it as a leader in fielding questions and those sort of things? Has that been an important part of what you feel as a leader to your team is important to be able to do, is to field those questions or direct them where they can find answers or to calm them? As a leader, do you feel that's an integral part of your role?
Oh, yeah, big time. You always got to be there. And I know, some people get frustrated because they've got 2 or 3 levels down. I'm actually thankful for Jay that he has changed the comp plan, and not just money wise. It's really good now that I always said, it don't matter what level you are, I will help you.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a team group, and I've had it from day one, and all of my team is in it. And, I know it's frustrating for some people that they want to get on my team group, but only my team is in there because I want to be able to do contests, motivate my team. And I can't do that if there's a lot of people in there that's not on my team, because I don't know if they're in on the contest or if they're not. So, but when I say, I'm thankful that Jay did that, because now, you know what, it doesn't matter what level they're at, you're benefiting from them. So it's, I've always fielded questions, and doesn't matter where they're at as far as level goes. It's
Sure.
very important to be a leader. And when you're a leader, you're helping anybody, and even people not on your team. I've done that many times, and I've gotten phone calls from people that are not even on my team, and it's like I treat them the same as if they were on my team. So it is very important to be there for anybody and everybody.
Yeah, and I think you've done a wonderful job of that. And I think that, that's part of the culture as being somebody in the beginning that we tried to create is, let's not look at whether they're financially linked to us, because network marketing, in my limited experience, because I'm not a network marketer either, but it was always like, if I'm not financially linked, then I'm not going to help you. And it's almost like, well, that's segregating sort of, especially in Vox, because it's a mission. We're all working toward the same thing. So in essence, we're all on the same team. It's just that the only difference is we may not be connected financially. And I know you've done a great job of that. And so let's just back up a little bit to where Cathy Gage was going to do this wellness clinic in her home. And Cathy Gage all of a sudden started building an incredible team by sharing. New company, new whatever. Did you ever look at this as something that you would be doing full time, or that you could glean a full-time living, or something that would shift you maybe from your focus of the in-home health clinic to full-time representation of this product and going out there and trying to build a team and feeling, when was it sort of that you felt that paradigm shift and where you looked at it and said, oh my goodness, I'm making pretty decent money? Where was that shift for you approximately?
Well, I think the first year, actually, when I first started, because I just went crazy with it, and I started making decent money within the first year, and I never dreamed in a million years that I would be doing this full time. I was hoping that I would. And, but like I said, I've done other companies and it didn't really go anywhere. And I just felt that, this was kind of different, and I just worked it different. And so I feel that the first year it was like, I left my full-time job within 4 months.
Wow.
And was I making enough money to survive on? No, probably not. But it's like, you know what, I'm putting my all in this, and I'm just going to go for it. But never in a million years did I think that I'd be making a full-time income on this. And for people that know me, they know, kind of know a little bit of my story. But for the people that don't know me, I had a spouse that I was with for many years, and I left 2 years ago. But you know what? If it wasn't for Vox Life, I probably would still be there in a bad situation. So never did I think that this would allow me to live on my own. I'm paying big payments on rent and stuff like that. And never did I think that I would be able to do this on my own. And I am, and living quite well, and very happy that I stuck it out. Was there tough times? Absolutely. Was there times when I'm like, I'm done? Absolutely. Everybody has that. It doesn't matter what company you're in, everybody has that. But you know what? If you stick it out, and like Jay said before, there's peaks and valleys, and it's like a roller coaster. There's, times when you're going to be down, there's times when you're going to be up. Doesn't matter. That's life in general. So I honestly can say that, I had those times, but on the most part, I've always been very dedicated and just love what I do, and always will. And I'll be a Vox Life associate for life.
Oh, that's awesome. And man, I'll tell you what, Vox is happy to have you. I'm happy to have you. I know there's lots of people on your team that are just thrilled to have you. And it's a mission that we're all linked arms in together, and we're doing this thing. And Nike wasn't even established as a brand until 10 years. We're 5 years into it. If you had to, for new people, new associates that are on this call, Cathy, that are maybe on here thinking, can I do this? Can I build a team like Cathy did? Can I stick it out? If you could give 3 either daily method of operation, 3 tips, 3 sort of steps of action that somebody could take right away to continue on, to continue to hold the faith, whatever it is, what are 3 things that you could tell new people as an RVP in this company, as one of the top leaders in this company, if you could give them 3 tips, 3 methods of operation, or 3 sort of methods of action that they could take to continue in this pursuit, continue in this journey of achieving the mission, what would you tell them?
Well, it's funny because somebody said to me today, I told them that I ranked up. It was a friend of mine, actually. And I said, I became regional VP, and she was very happy. And she said, you got in at the right time. And I'm like, no, that's not correct. She goes, what do you mean? And I said, anybody can do this. It doesn't matter when you come in. Anybody can do this as long as you're willing to put the work in. Was it easy? No, it's not easy. If you think you're going to get in and it's just going to explode without doing the work, doesn't happen. I've worked my butt off. And if you're willing to work your butt off, absolutely, you can do this. Anybody can do this. So my 3 tips would be my 3 things that I do every day is, first of all, before I go to bed at night, I make a list of what I need to do the next day, so that I don't get up in the morning and it's like, okay, you need to focus your time so that you're not like staring into space,
sure,
for lack of a better word. But so at night, I make a list of what I got to do the next day. I have a calendar where I have to connect with 3 people. Some people do 2, I do 3. So 3 previous customers, 3 new customers, and 3 potential associates that, and I do it on Facebook. I'm always posting stuff on Facebook, not necessarily the business, but you want people interested in your life. So, clean up your Facebook. And just for instance, like me going on this trip, I put on my Facebook before I left, wow, I'm so excited to go on a 14-day cruise, all expenses paid from my company. Never thought that I'd ever, I put a blurb out there on that. I had 2 people message me and said, can you contact me when you get home? I want to know what you do.
Awesome.
Like, it's as easy as that once you get people interested. And, like, some people jump companies. The worst thing you can do is get into a company like Vox Life and start jumping companies, because first thing people say is, oh yeah, here we go again. What's she into now? But you know what? I've been into this over 5 years now, and I've got some people that are just starting to buy from me because it's like, it's got to be a good product. She's still in it. So you really build it over time. But the key is that every day you need to do something to build your business.
So consistency.
Maybe, yeah, like maybe some people can't do this full time because they have a full-time job. I understand that. But if you do something every day to build your business, you will be successful. Absolutely.
Perfect.
And
So
build a team momentum as well.
So I know that, what I try and encourage people to do all the time is, that want to build a team is, I've always said, and you've heard me say before, well, you'll never get your degree if you don't show up to class. And, we do a lot of training calls. We all try to do our best to coach our teams and coach our members, because certainly we don't know it all, Cathy, that's for sure. And, but I think that it's important for those that want to build a team is to be around the people that have a team, listen to what they do, reach out to those people and see, what they can do. And I know that, I know that you're always there for your team, and certainly there for people that aren't necessarily connected to you financially. But do you believe that, encouraging your team to do the same is an important part of the culture that we have on this mission?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's funny because, like, when you have a team, doesn't matter how big or how small, if they feel that they're a part of a family, of a community, you'd be surprised how much they'll stay around the campfire, because people are looking for a connection, especially more now than ever because of the pandemic. We feel like we're kind of lost. So when you get a connection with a team, and when I say, like, you work with your team every chance you get, and like I said, it's not about it's we. And when I became VP, it's funny because at the time it was before Jay had changed the comp plan and we had the different bonus. So it was, as you know, Terry, it wasn't always so great because the more people that became VP under you, the less bonus you were making. So, but you know what? It didn't matter to me. I actually became VP and I got on the phone, and I was on the phone with Vicky and Sandy Dolan and all my team out west, and Bonnie Andrews. And we had a big, live, and we were like, okay, we got to do this to rank so and so up, and this person can rank up. Well, I had like 5 people VP within like 3 days, and it's like, and all I could think about is, what are you doing, Cathy? Your bonus is going down every time you bring in another VP. It's like, what part of this don't you understand? But I didn't care. It's like, I knew that the momentum would be there by them ranking up, and knowing that they were coming up with me as well. And that's what it's all about, is bringing your team up with you.
Well, I think that, as people that got in early, we understand that, and certainly I can say this, and I would say it to Jay's face, that Jay doesn't know everything when it comes to network marketing. And certainly what I'm excited about with Jay is to be a leader in the industry, especially with our customer brand champion program. It's a little clunky right now. The way to get the links and so on is a little bit clunky, but I think for Jay to be innovative.
I don't know if the internet connection must be bad, because it's hard to hear you and you're freezing.
Yeah, so it must be. I don't know what the deal is. It goes in and out the odd time. But what I was saying is that I think we're all lucky, Cathy, that we have a leader, we have an inventor, we have a CEO that is willing to be open to learn and to listen to people in the industry. He wasn't always that way. I can assure you that. And I would tell Jay that to his face. I absolutely love the guy. He's, he's an A-type personality. He's exactly the way my late father was. And, I even call my dad's name was Rombo. And sometimes I've had those talks with Jay and I'm like, settle down, Rombo, like take it easy. So, and he knows, but what I'm very, very pleased with for those of us that have stuck around is that, Jay doesn't just let stuff roll off like water off a duck's back. You may not think he hears it, but he hears it. He may not act on it that instant, but he does the research. And what I'm very, very proud to say, as Jay, as the owner of this company and CEO and inventor, is that he is making changes. He is doing the best that he can. I know for a fact he's working on the clunkiness of the brand champion program and how the links are available and so on. But these things don't happen overnight. So we as leaders and we as people in here, we have to sometimes figure a workaround, and you've been very, very good at that. I know other people, like Vicky Swan and Monica Warner and myself and Paul Austin and Jen Moyer and so on have done our best to find workarounds to be able to communicate with our customers and so on. And I truly believe that Vox Life, as I'm sure you'll agree with, Cathy, that this brand champion program is the future as far as keeping the Federal Trade Commission, the FTC, off our back as far as customers are concerned. But it certainly gives our customers a great opportunity to help us in this mission and be rewarded for it financially with product purchases, to be able to buy their purchase down the road. And I think it's important that we teach our teams, and I'm sure you have, to be able to swing with the shifts that Jay is making and do our very best to support Jay in his thing, because it's been a very challenging time, I would imagine, for Jay and staff working through this pandemic with all the rules that government insists upon or whatever. So those that are here, Cathy, what advice would you give them as we leave this call today? As we leave this call, and I know there's people on here that haven't been here with Vox Life that long, have maybe had great results with the product. But as we leave this call tonight, what is one thing that you would say to them as far as 1 year, 2 year, 5 years down the road in this company?
Well, I seen, what's happened from when I started to 5 years out. And wow, the change is phenomenal. I know there's sometimes we get frustrated, and but you know what? When we started, as you know, Terry, we had nothing. I mean, literally nothing. So we had to build it from basically scratch. So to see what we started with, to see what people are starting with now, 5 years later, I can't even imagine what it's going to be in another 5 years. Don't get frustrated. That's my thing that I'm going to tell you. Don't get frustrated. Stick it out. It's not always peach cream, but in the end, you'll be quite happy that you stuck it out. And every year I think is just going to get better. Is there still some, like Terry just said, like he's working on the brand champion clunkiness. There's some other stuff that needs to be worked on. They are working hard in the background, and you don't even know what they're doing. I don't even know what they're doing. And so you know what? Don't get frustrated. Stick it out. You're helping people. That's the key in this story in itself, is that we're not just, yes, it's about money. Obviously, we need money to survive.
Yeah.
But you know what? To know that, I mean, you can get money from wherever. I mean, you're going to get a job somewhere. But to know that we're helping people every day to live a better quality of life, how great is that? To leave this world knowing what we've done.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know what? All I can say is stick with it. Don't get frustrated. And if you are frustrated, talk to somebody.
Sure.
And as time goes on, things are just going to get better.
Well, that is some great advice, Cathy. This is great advice from a great leader. Those of you that know Cathy and have had the pleasure of meeting her in person, hopefully we can get to having a celebration event again and work that out. But certainly, I'm very grateful, Cathy, for what you do. I know that your teammates, those that are in your team, those that are outside of your team, are grateful for what you do. And I'm grateful for you jumping on tonight as our second official associate in the spotlight. So
I was excited.
I think these calls are kind of fun because I think they're practical things that we can all listen to, because we've all heard umpteen trainings on mindset, on what's your why. Those are all great things. Those are wonderful things. I truly believe that. But I think in our culture, and with our product being a blue ocean product with no competition, I believe it's more beneficial for all of us to learn from each other, because what might work in Ontario might not work in, Saskatchewan. What works here might not work in, Halifax. So we need to share and be able to throw enough mud at the wall that we hear from other associates and find out what sticks for us. But I think with each associate being in the spotlight and sharing their journey a bit, sharing what they're doing, can give people a call to action. And certainly, I know, Cathy, that you're a hardworking woman. You have been from day one. You've never stopped, despite pitfalls, despite trials in your life. You've been an inspiration to me on your work ethic. I know to my sister Lori, and I think your tips are gonna be very resounding to a lot of people tonight that have maybe felt a little rejected or felt a little down at times. And it's not easy out there right now. We're in a pandemic. We got lots of government rules that make it very, very tough and very discouraging. But if you want to learn stuff, there's lots of us here that can do our best to help you. Do your best to get on calls. Because I'd love to have you as the next associate in the spotlight. It's not about rank, not about where you are. It's about, you're an associate, you're working this business. What can you share as an associate in the spotlight that can bring value to our mission, value to the other people on our teams, and I mean our extended teams and our extended families, that will all help us do a little bit better job of sharing this phenomenal technology. So on behalf of the field here, Cathy, tonight, I'd like to thank you for coming on. You look fantastic. I love your hair. Looks awesome. And you look so rejuvenated from your trip. You look absolutely awesome. And so I want to hear all the little dirty secrets about your trip later sometime in private.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, no, it was absolutely the best. Vox couldn't have done anything better for me than to give me this trip, because I'll tell you, it was life changing.
What an amazing company. And Jay has given a lot of trips, and with our this weekend sales have been phenomenal. I think everybody's felt an amazing increase, and I don't think Jay's done yet being Santa for this for this year yet. So I just know that everybody's put in a great effort to spread the word. I've seen lots of posts, as we all have, on our social media channels and that sort of stuff. And certainly having you on the call tonight was an awesome pleasure. And thank you, Cathy. Great to see you back.
The other thing I want to say, Terry, before I go, because I know I've heard some rumblings with Jay putting the product on TV and whatnot, and people are worried that they're gonna lose sales because of that and whatnot. But I'll tell you, I'll give you a little story of what happened a couple years ago. I was at an event, and I had some associates that were a little upset that there was somebody that was doing radio ads on the product, and they were like, they're going to be taking our sales from us and da 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 da. And it's funny because I did an event, and this lady come up to me and she's like, oh my God, she said, that so sucks. I heard about these on the radio. She said, I need to buy some of these. I gave her a $300 order because somebody posted it and announced it on the radio, and I got the order from it. So you know what? The fact that Jay is putting out there on the TV and all this stuff is only going to help us.
100%. I agree with that 100%, because it's all about brand awareness. And somebody's going to buy off of you because they know you, they like you, they trust you. In some cases, long before they buy off a TV commercial. So brand awareness and getting people. And I know that I've heard just recently, Cathy, when people have been able to do shows again, have heard positive comments where people are coming up more and more saying, oh, Vox Life, I've heard of that. I've seen that before. Tell me more. What does this do? And so it's a really positive response that people are feeling when they're doing, a show. That it's exciting when people come up and say, oh, I've heard about this. This is pretty cool. Tell me more about this. And that's all been created through, online ads that Jay has done, and through some of the marketing that corporate's throwing at us as associates to bring brand awareness. So I'm 100% with you. I agree that it's certainly it's gonna be more help for us than it's gonna hinder us. I agree with that 100%.
Absolutely. Jay knows what he's doing.
Yeah, that's a great point. So thanks for bringing that up, Cathy. That's awesome. So once again, I'd like to thank everybody for being on this call. It was a great call. Cathy, thank you for being on, and those of you that are on this call tonight, let's remember we have our UK people that also are doing a call on Wednesdays as well, at 3:30 Eastern time. It's 7:30 UK time, and also every other Monday, our Real People, Real Results call that is hosted by Kevin Duguay and Krista Taylor. Do your best to get your guests on there, and our opportunity call on Tuesday nights that we're doing, that we can leverage to bring new people to learn about our exciting technology. So on behalf of everybody here, Cathy, thank you for being with us tonight.